my husband's wife. I love. So I got some millionaire shortbread gelato in the house, guys. My husband just put some first, so I'm just going to have this as I prep to sit down and shoot some content for you guys. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is another day, another vlog. Wait, sorry, this is not a vlog. This is actually going to be some sit down content, which I have just remembered that I actually haven't given you guys till now. So as you might know, I recently got married. I however had a customary wedding in April, and yeah, for those of you who don't know, I am Zimbabwean, I am Ndebele, and my husband is Shona. And in both tribes, there's what we call a customary wedding. So a customary wedding is basically where your husband's family takes some money or cattle or fortunes basically to the bride's family to ask for a hand in marriage, and then when they accept it, it means that these two are now married. In the background is my husband. He's just such a sweet one. Say hi, babe.
Hi guys.
Yeah, so he's not joining us for today's video, but I'm gonna be telling you guys some of the things you need to know, or just exactly how to plan your own traditional customary wedding. If you just watching this because you just want to learn more about it, that's great. If you're watching this because you actually have your AMALOBOLO or ROORA or customary wedding coming up, then I hope this helps. So let's just get straight into it. The first thing that I did with my husband when we found out we wanted to get married and we had talked to our families was actually come up with a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets because they make life easier. You can make calculations in them and it just runs things seamlessly. If you don't use spreadsheets, then I would advise you to use those. I created one in Numbers because, wow, yeah, I've got Excel as well, but I just don't use Excel as much anymore. Still getting familiar with Numbers because I was an Excel person for a very long time. So yeah, I created a spreadsheet in Numbers. I created a task column. As you will see here. I created a supplier column, which I won't share with you right now. I created a price column, a deposit payment column, a budget column, and the difference between my budget, the actual price, and then also the difference between the balance and the invoice figure and the deposit payment. So basically I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I had about 8 columns. So first of all, the best way to plan your ROORA or Lobola ceremony, AMALOBOLO ceremony, is to have things planned out ahead of time. You simply need to plan ahead of time. If you're planning it on your own, I would not recommend you doing things in a rush. I would definitely highly recommend starting early. How I did it, well, before I even had a boyfriend, I had like a board saved on Instagram where I was just putting wedding vendors I probably wanted to work with in the future. So it was really easy for me because I had all these resources to go to when I finally had a man who finally wanted to put a ring on it. So yeah, see, yeah, you know, faith actually does do something. Anyway, the first thing I did was to start planning early. It's never too early to plan. So even if you're single right now, you can actually start putting away things into your boards, the brands you'd want to work with if you got married, and rather when you get married, and yada yada yada. So well, I'm just gonna run through my list so that you learn some of the things you have to include in your list. My first one was makeup, and for myself I decided I was gonna do my own makeup. I didn't think it was such a big deal for me to go hire out someone to do my own makeup. So what I simply put down was makeup, and then I wrote down the things that I had to buy for my makeup to look the way I wanted it to look. And so yeah, got some couple of Fenty items. I love Fenty Beauty, it's just amazing. Recently tried number 7, which is exactly what I'm wearing right now. My mom got it for me. I love it. It is just like skin, it's just like Fenty, but just slightly cheaper. So yeah, the makeup, if you're not able to do your own makeup, then that's something you need to put down because you will be looking gorgeous on the day. The other thing I put was my outfit. So for my outfit, like I mentioned when we started the video, I am Debele. I knew I wanted to wear a tribal hat in Isikolo, so I had that made. I knew I wanted that, so I had to put down a budget for that. I also knew that I wanted some bracelets or bangles to go with the Isikolo and my beaded outfit. So I knew my outfit had a lot to do with beading, and that meant money. So yeah, I put down my outfit, my makeup, photography. That's the most important thing of the day. And the second most important thing of the day. That was, you know what? I don't know, but it's important. Like, you need to get a photographer who takes really good shots. But also, I don't think you should spend so much on your traditional wedding. Your customary wedding, because like anyway, it's traditional to us as Africans, so that's a traditional wedding to us. So I don't think, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I would not spend beyond $8,000 on like photography and or videography for a customary wedding. But that's just me. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. Knock yourself out. It's your day anyway. The other thing I had to take care of was the decor, and then there was catering, and then there was beverages as well. Outfits, I spoke about that, and then the cake. I wanted the cake, so we had to like incorporate that. And then leading up to that, we also looked at hair and medical checks, which is a different video altogether. But anyway, before you go ahead and like start the proceedings or the preparations for negotiations, I would highly recommend that you do some medical checks of some sort with your spouse to be. This helps you know what you're getting yourself into. It's 2023, so even if you found out your partner was HIV positive, it would not matter. To be honest, you could still live with that. You wouldn't get HIV just because your partner has HIV. Still would be nice to know so that you know if you need to be on treatment as well and just protect yourself or not. So yeah, the next thing is okay, so besides starting early and noting down the things that you want, you might want so many of the things that I didn't have. Perhaps you want a chocolate fountain there. If you want to be that extra and you've got the money, why not have that chocolate fountain, girl? Why not? So if you want a chocolate fountain, then just make sure you put down all the things you actually want. Put on your vision board and then put down your budget and then reconcile the two, because most times your vision, the budget, and the reality don't always go together. They don't always go together. So definitely would recommend, babe. Yeah? Yeah? Absolutely. Yeah, so you need to make sure that you have your budget to guide you, which is the most important thing in all of this. And then coming down to the question of who should foot the expenses of the day, I think that comes down to your agreement as a couple. Ordinarily, it is the girl's side that foots all the bills that are related to welcoming the in-laws into the family. But again, it's not relative. It's a very relative thing. If both of you want nice things and either sides of the family can't afford to, whoever can chip in to make the day a reality should or might be open to helping out to bring that vision to life. So if that's your case, then I hope the two of you kind of reconcile whatever situation you have going on. In that regard, there is need for honesty. So how to plan it. The first thing is, okay, now that you've started early and you've got your vendors lined up or your suppliers lined up, you need to set consultation meetings with these people. I believe in a vibe check. So obviously for me, a vibe check is everything. I had a certain person, a certain supplier that was there like as a supplier for my things. Vibe check wasn't very great. We did work well together, but in the end, she did prove that my initial vibe gut check was actually right. we'll mention her. But anyway, you need to do like vibe checks, especially with your photography team or your photographers for the day. A vibe check consultation is very important. I tend to just vibe check straight off the bat from text messages. My husband says it's a bad thing to do, but I do it anyway. So what we ended up doing was actually meeting up with these people to just like get to know them, get to meet them, get to know them in person, hear if, you know, we think alike or we get the vision, or if we are on the same page, or if our energies go together. So that's the other thing. So now that you've done your vibe check, the next thing to do is to pay a deposit. I highly recommend not planning with just a certain amount of money. Like, let's say your budget is 5,000 for everything, or let's say your budget is 3,000 for everything. Oh wait, I forgot the most important thing. You need to decide how many guests you need, because now that then comes into the payment side of things. Now that you've done your vibe chase, yada yada yada, you need to know how many people you're catering for, how many people you're expecting on the day. Generally, if they're not important, don't invite them. By not important, I mean if they're not extremely close family and they don't, like, if they can't not miss the day, then you can't leave them out. If they cannot be left out, you have to invite them. If they can be left out and things will go according to plan even without your presence, leave them out. Because really, you don't need it to be big. You don't need lots of people on the day. It's a small intimate function which is meant to be enjoyed. If you're doing a loboding and you want to have lots of people, then that's on you, because, you know, why not? But just decide with your partner how many guests you want to have, how important each guest is. If you get to a guest and you feel like, I don't really know if they need to be there, then they probably don't need to be there. Try to work with a number that is realistic. If you know that you've got a large family, then setting an event for 30 people would just be unrealistic, in which case you need to realize that setting a number of guests, a predicted number of guests that is too low, would be very inconvenient on the day when people actually show up in their numbers. So yeah, you need to know how many people you're expecting, and then you need to overstate that number. So let's say you're working with, I think 30 people will be fine. Overstate the number and put it at 40 people. Add 10 extra heads, because people will show up even if you don't invite them. Certain characters will bring certain characters and you cannot do anything about it. So invite, after you have your guest list, add 10 people, add 10 heads to that, so that your head count is overstated for the purposes of food allocation, beverages, setups and all that jazz. Now that you've got your suppliers, your guest list and all that, you now need to inform your invited guests on time. If there's a theme for your outfit, then let them know. If there isn't, then again, let them know. I feel like one very important thing to note is liaise with your vendors and be very specific. You obviously on the day, so many things you haven't like expected or weren't hoping to see will be there, but try as much as you possibly can to ascertain exactly what you can ascertain days before the actual date. Get your outfit, like if you're telling a vendor when the event is, don't tell them the actual date, tell them a date that is earlier than the actual date, like maybe 5 or 7 days earlier than your actual date, so that even when people slack, you've already given yourself room for disappointment. I think pretty much that's it from my side. Babe, do you think I left something out?
I think, yeah, it's most of it.
Yeah? Yeah, I think pretty much that's it. So it's the budgets, it's the number of people, it's your suppliers, how to find your suppliers, your deposits. One last pro tip. So if you are working with a vendor or a supplier that says their payment terms of 50% deposit and then 50% on the day of the ceremony, please ensure that you have all the money before you actually commit to the supplier. Don't work with the assumption that, oh, I'm gonna get money at the end of the month, so I'll just be able to pay up the balance. No. Have all the money set aside, and then literally just take money out and put the money into little envelopes or something that will become easier to work with. So yeah, guys, don't work with the assumption that you're gonna get money next week, because so many things happen spiritually leading up to weddings, and you will find yourself on the receiving end of that spiritual mishap. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and, you know, do it the way that I'm advising you to not do it. And you'll probably come back and tell us that, you were right, auntie. Anyway, I hope this video helped, and I hope, let me know if there's something you want to know specifically, like something you'd want me to make a video on. I planned my own lobola out. It was really fun to plan out. I literally planned I took a whole day to plan it and figure out what suppliers I wanted to work with, communicated with some of them, shortlisted some of the other ones, and then yeah, moved ahead from there. So I literally planned everything and finished paying deposits in like within 3 days, and that gave us so much time to just forget about like looking for suppliers, yada talking to this person, talking to that person, yada. Make sure you're using people you actually trust, because I think that was one of my mishaps. I think by now, or maybe you'll probably see watch the video after this one airs. But anyway, yeah, I hope this video helps. Let me know if there's something else you want to know. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye.